This chart maps the medical reality of Rajni and Mukul. On the left, perfect health metrics, green check marks across the board. But on the right, the biological timeline tells a different story. For 5 years, every attempt to start a family flatlined. Their doctor pointed to a hidden variable, severe psychological stress. The anxiety of trying and failing to conceive was creating a physical block. The medical advice was clear. They needed a complete change of environment to reset their minds. Taking that advice to heart, Mukul arranged to work from home. The couple left the suffocating pressure of the city and rented a remote, picturesque bungalow in the hill station of Lonavala. They secured the lease from the landlord, a Mr. Shah. But almost immediately, an anomaly surfaced. Even though Rajni had never set foot in Lonavala, she felt a deep, inexplicable sense of familiarity with the property. She knew its layout before even walking through the doors. In their desperate attempt to escape the stress of creating new life, Rajni and Mukul had unknowingly moved into a space entirely anchored by death. The tranquil atmosphere of the house quickly shifted. Rajni began suffering from vivid, recurring nightmares. In these dreams, a heavily bruised and injured boy would appear, weeping and begging his mother to save him. Mukul tried to find a logical explanation. He reasoned that Rajni was simply spending too much time alone in an empty house, and that the trauma of their ongoing struggle with infertility was manifesting as dark hallucinations. To combat these visions, he suggested a grounding exercise. He asked Rajni to focus her mind on reading spiritual texts, hoping the routine would quiet her anxiety. Rajni committed to a strict 7-day reading of the Bhagavad Gita. When the week concluded, she gathered the ashes and ritual offerings, carrying them out to the courtyard and burying them directly beneath the massive, ancient peepal tree. Almost immediately after the ritual, the medical block lifted. Rajni became pregnant, finally breaking their 5-year streak of infertility. Alongside the pregnancy came a supernatural shift. The injured boy in Rajni's dreams stopped pleading. Now he simply stood in silence, watching her with a peaceful expression. The couple believed they had successfully banished a psychological demon through faith and a change of scenery. They were completely unaware that they had actually pacified a physical ghost, one that was simply waiting for its next move. Fast forward 9 months to the night Rajni went into labor. As her contractions began, a massive, unnatural storm hammered the town of Lonavala. The violent winds tore through the courtyard. Just as Rajni's pain reached its peak, the giant peepal tree violently uprooted and crashed to the ground. 2 crises began unfolding at once. At the hospital, doctors struggled with a severe, complicated delivery. Meanwhile, Mukul had to hire local laborers to urgently clear the massive, fallen tree blocking their home. As the workers hacked away at the torn roots of the peepal tree, they uncovered something hidden deep in the soil, a human skeleton. This diagram maps both events. Left, the skull is pulled from the earth. Right, the fetal monitor. The exact instant the skeleton is unearthed, Rajni's baby is born. The timelines connect, revealing Mr. Shah's confession. The skeleton was his son, murdered by a greedy relative. The haunting was never meant to harm Rajni. It was a targeted plea for a forensic excavation. The spirit required a living family to move into the home, disturb the grounds, and expose a buried crime. Armed with the physical remains, the police arrested the murderous uncle. With the truth out, the son's spirit was finally laid to rest, and Mr. Shah legally transferred the house deed to Rajni and Mukul. Several years passed, and life settled into a quiet routine. Then, one afternoon, Mukul was clearing out a dusty storeroom in the back of the bungalow. Tucked away in a forgotten box, he found a decades-old photograph showing the landlord, Mr. Shah, standing beside his daughter. When Mukul wiped dust from the glass, he froze. The young woman in the old photograph was the absolute spitting image of his wife, Rajni. This resemblance provides the missing link to Rajni's 5 years of unexplained infertility. Her body only accepted the pregnancy after she had unknowingly performed a burial ritual for the landlord's son, her brother from a previous life. This illustrates the concept of karmic magnetism, where unfinished business from a past life pulls a soul back to the exact geographic location where a debt of justice remains unpaid. Rajni returned to this bungalow to solve a murder and reclaim her place in a family lineage that had been violently interrupted. The forensic discovery of the skeleton was the prerequisite for her child's birth. The dead and the living were bound by a secret that had to be unearthed before new life could begin.